Hello, everyone. My name is Tsvetan. I'm 16 years old, and I was born and raised in Canada. So, I was born and raised in Canada, and today I would like to take the time to share with you all why volunteering is so important, told through my personal story. So, my mother, who's with us here today, and my father represented the quintessential immigrant success story. My mother worked at a Canadian university, and my father, he was a small business owner. Together, they built a comfortable family life in their new home, and at the time, we were all thriving. Unfortunately, out of the blue, my father was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Now, obviously, this is a tragedy for any family, but as immigrants, we faced an additional challenge, being far from home and separated from our family and from our lifelong friends, our support system. Now, my father, he was the most positive, most hardworking person imaginable, and he set a strong example for all of us. And my mother's grace and strength during this time were equally as inspiring. But understandably, this was a very difficult time and a very difficult situation for my family to cope with. But this is when our Canadian community stepped in. Friends, colleagues, and even complete strangers rushed to lend a hand in every manner imaginable. For instance, at the time, my mother didn't have her driver's license, and in North America, particularly in the prairies where we lived, you really can't get by without a car. It took her 2 months to get her license, and in those 2 months, every morning, 3 strangers would show up at our door. One would take me to school, another would take my mother to work, and a third would take my father to his chemotherapy. All of them were volunteers at the local cancer charity. And in the evening, 3 other strangers would pick us up and bring us all back home. This is where I first truly realized the significance of both community and of volunteering. Things were looking rather grim for my family and I, and had it not been for the kindness of all those people, we would have surely been lost. Eventually, when my father did pass away, my mother and I made the conscientious decision to channel our grief into positive action, because paying it forward not only helped us heal, but it honored my father's memory as well. So therefore, we became deeply committed to volunteering, dedicating ourselves to various causes, including supporting a social group for the families of young widows and widowers. When we moved back to Bulgaria, we really wanted to keep up the volunteering spirit. However, Bulgaria differs a little bit from Canada when it comes to volunteer culture. So according to the Charities Aid Foundation's World Giving Index, an index which measures how much citizens of countries volunteer, Canada placed 8th out of 144 surveyed countries, with 62% of the population saying that they have donated money in the past month, and 42% of the population saying that they have volunteered in the past month. Bulgaria, in contrast, placed 133rd out of 144 surveyed countries, with 21% of people saying that they have donated in the past month, and only 4% saying that they have volunteered. We really wanted to find opportunities to volunteer together, but we just couldn't quite find our niche. So this prompted my mother and I to sit down and have a heartfelt discussion about how we could best give back to our community. Having both been through the immigrant journey, we both understood the complexities of adapting to a new culture and, in particular, learning a new language. Thus, we decided to create opportunities specifically for Bulgarians who are striving to improve their English, as well as for expatriates who have decided to call Sofia their home. And through that, our volunteering initiative, the English Language Café, was created. Excuse me, I'm a little sick. So one day in 2022, completely by chance, my mother met the owners of the Salted Cafe Sofia, an event space here in Sofia known as a community building hub. You know, the owners of Salted, they're people with their hearts in the right place, and their generosity is what makes our initiative possible. So that begs the question, what is the English Language Café? Well, it's a non-formal, apolitical, secular, volunteer-run community initiative which strives to improve English-speaking skills among Bulgarians and foster integration among expatriates in Sofia. So ELC meetings happen every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Our format is a short presentation of about 15 to 30 minutes, followed by discussions in small groups. We strive to offer a low-pressure environment where people can learn, connect, and build a community together. So in just under 2 years, we have done over 61 events attended by over 700 people with presenters from over 21 different countries. And all of that is done on a voluntary basis. My mother, she coordinates things, and a dedicated team of facilitators and presenters, such as myself, ensures the smooth running of the event series. So here are a couple of examples of presentations we've had over the past 2 years. Flavors of China, Spices and Noodles, a presentation done by a Chinese lady here in Sofia. Bordering Difference, a travel essay of sorts done by a Swedish man. A Man Walks into a Bar, a deep dive into why we find things funny by a Polish comedian. And Old Habits Die Hard, a guide to breaking those pesky bad habits by a Hungarian woman with a PhD. I would love to see some of you at the English Language Café, either as attendees or, better yet, as presenters. You can find us on Facebook. We have both a page and a group on Instagram, or alternatively, if you have any inquiries, you can reach us through our business email. Now, I am always on the lookout for new volunteering opportunities, particularly in the areas of economics, social issues, and diplomacy. I aim to gain experience that aligns with my interests, all the while allows me to contribute positively to society. So if you have any suggestions or opportunities, I would love to hear from you. Now, last but certainly not least, I hope that my speech has made at least a few of you to stop and think, how can I volunteer and where can I help? Because at the end of the day, building stronger, safer, and more robust communities is our collective and shared responsibility. Thank you very much.